Okay, so we're going to begin in child's pose. So if you make your way to the back of your mat, then it's up to you which type of child's pose you would like to go for. So you can bring your toes together and your knees wide if you want to stretch into your hips. If you want to stretch more into your spine, you can keep your feet so they're parallel to each other and your knees together. Just making sure whichever version you come into, you start with your hips to your heels and then bring yourself forwards. So if you come forwards and your back is tight and your head doesn't touch the ground, you can stack your hands or your fists just to make sure that your back is, your neck, is nice and supported and as long as it can be. And we're just going to begin just by settling into the body. So just take a few moments of stillness here. So just checking in with the different points of your body touching the ground. Maybe you want to just rock your hips from side to side. Maybe you're feeling some tension in your forehead and you just want to rock your forehead side to side on the ground. It's up to you where you want to have your hands. You can have them extended at shoulder distance, or you can bring them to the floor behind you, just so you're resting your chest on your knees and your shoulders can just roll forwards. So just whatever feels good, as long as your neck is long and you feel supported. So just letting your body feel really nice and heavy here. And just bringing your awareness into your breath. So without trying to change your breath, just being aware of it. So if you have your toes touching and your knees wide, maybe you can feel your belly just dropping between your legs as you inhale and exhale. And if you have your knees together, maybe you could feel the breath moving its way along the back of the body and stretching the spine. Wherever you are, just taking 5 inhales and 5 exhales. So why don't you see if you can breathe 6 seconds on your inhale and 6 seconds on your exhale. Excuse me. So staying connected to your breath. Try not to get lost in your thoughts. Thinking how you can make each breath maybe a bit better, a bit longer, a bit smoother. So if you haven't already got your arms extended, use your 5th exhale just to bring your arms out in front of you. Come up onto your fingertips and walk your fingers forwards like 1 finger footstep. Take a big breath in. As you breathe up, just bring your hips down to your heels. Stay up on your fingertips and you feel a really great stretch in your shoulders. Next inhale, see if you can just walk 1 more step forwards. And exhale, bringing your hips back down towards your heels. Your next inhale, we're going to come off to the right. So bring the right hand off your yoga mat, bring your left hand. So we can either sit on top of the right hand or just next to the right hand. And just pressing that left hip back as we breathe into the left side of the body and stretch. Just taking 3 breaths here, nice, long, smooth inhales and exhales. Noticing where the breath goes in your body. So using the 3rd inhale to come back to center. And exhale, bringing the hands to the left. So bringing the left hand off, maybe reaching the right hand on top of the left. Otherwise, the right hand can just sit next to the left and we're just pressing that right hip down just to increase the traction within the body. Breathing into the right side of the body now. Take 3 breaths. Just noticing where you can feel that stretch. So using the 3rd exhale, bring your hands back to center and inhale coming up onto all 4s. So just checking in with your alignment, hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Take some cat's cows. So inhale to drop the belly down, look up, stretch, and exhale to round the spine, pushing into the ground with your hands and your knees. Inhale, coming into cow, and exhale to cat. Doing 5 of these in total. So there's another 3 for me. You might be going at a different rate to me, so try and move with your breath. Okay, so using the next inhale, you find yourself coming to find a flat back position, and we're just going to start to mobilize the wrists. So coming in circles around the wrists. So noticing how when you come forward, your fingertips will press down, and as you can rotate around the different areas of your hands, it will take the weight. And let's go the opposite way. So really, really being mindful of our hands and our wrists and all the different areas we need to push into the ground just to bring our weight through our whole hands. So we're just going to change the positioning of the hands now. So with the wrist creases facing inwards and the fingers coming out to the long edges of your mat. And again, maybe coming around in circles. Your wrists are anything like me, they're crunching and making all kinds of little cracks and pops. As long as there's no pain, it's absolutely normal. Let's go the opposite way. Obviously, if you feel pain, that's an indication of your body that you're doing something that isn't right for your body. So always listen to these indications that our body gives us. Come back to the middle. So we're going to bring the hands, so the backs of the hands are touching the ground, palms are facing up, and your fingers are pointing towards your knees. And same again, maybe rocking side to side, forwards and back. Maybe you want to pause in one of these areas. It feels particularly good for what your body needs. The last stretch, we're just going to turn the hands round. So palms down, fingers facing back towards the knees. And again, just moving around, mobilizing the wrists, being very mindful of your movements. And let's change directions. If you're taking circles, let's go the opposite way. Bringing the hands back, underneath the shoulders. Let's tuck the toes, lift the knees, and push back into our first downward facing dog. So moving your feet back if you need to, or maybe moving the hands forwards. So bringing the heels down towards the ground, engaging the quads, so pull it up from the knees, bring the belly button to the spine, the rib cage is drawn in, shoulders are nice and open, so thinking of rotating your biceps up towards the ceiling. And just giving your head a little shake. Maybe you want to pedal your legs here, so just maybe straightening one as you stretch down the back of the other. Just keep your pedaling, maybe just staying still, maybe rocking side to side, feels good. Shaking off the head. Okay, so take a nice deep breath in, feel the breath come all the way along your spine. As you exhale, coming up onto your tiptoes and rolling through your spine into a plank. Take a breath in plank. Exhale, lifting the hips, use your core, come up onto your tiptoes and push back into downward facing dog. So 2 more times, big breath in. As you breathe out, coming up onto the tiptoes, rolling through the spine, coming into plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lift your hips and push back to downward facing dog. Just warming up the core here. Inhale, exhale, lifting the hips, lifting the heels, rolling through the spine. Coming into plank, see if we can hold for a couple of breaths. We are coming down onto our fronts though. So as soon as you feel like you've had enough of this plank, you can just lower yourselves down. Try and stay lifted out of the shoulder blades. So try not to allow your chest to sag down. And as always, double check where you're looking. So where is your gaze? So you can keep nice and long through the back of the neck. Okay, so one more inhale and exhale. Coming all the way down onto your front. So elbows raising the ribs, knees down if you need to. Resting your body down. Roll the shoulders back and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And as you breathe in, just lifting the chest for an easy cobra. So engaging the muscles in your glutes, in your butt. Exhale and lower. So really using the muscles in the spine here. Inhale, let's come up. And again, checking in with your gaze. You don't want to be flinging your head up or your chin up. And just make sure that your neck is nice and long. Exhale to lower. One more time, inhale up. And we're just going to hold it here. Maybe you can lift your hands up off the floor. Just bring them so they're by your shoulders, squeezing the elbows in. Maybe bringing your arms out to a capital T. Inhale, come up a bit higher maybe. And exhale, lower all the way down, keeping the arms out. Bringing the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Left leg bends, picking it up and stepping the left foot behind the hips. So it's a stretch for the front of the shoulder. That's it, toppling over. Yeah, you got it. So there's a lovely stretch for the chest and the shoulder. Just take a breath in. As we breathe out, rolling back to center and swapping the arms. So the left arm will come out, the right hand comes underneath the shoulder, right knee bends, toppling over, popping the right foot just behind the hips and stretching. Okay, so inhale, come back to center. So we're going to push back to child's pose. It's up to you if you want to come to your knees, if you want to push to plank. If you want to push to plank, just lifting the fronts with the legs up off the ground, engaging the muscles in your tummy. Big push into the ground and knees down. Sit back into child's pose. Have a little rock side to side here. Again, it's up to you, toes touching and knees wide, or knees and feet parallel to each other, depending on what your needs. What you need. So next inhale, just lift your body up. Exhale, the right arm underneath the left. So we're spreading the arm all the way under. So the shoulder and the ear comes down to the mat. And we're stretching the shoulders. Nice little twist for the upper back. Just keep breathing. Trying to twist the shoulders open to the side. Okay. Next, inhale. We're going to bring the right arm in. Stretch it out and exhale. The left arm comes under. So same stretch on the other side. So again, think of this as a twist as well as a shoulder stretch. So the top shoulder wants to be like open rather than collapsing down on you. So one more breath here. Inhale, bring both arms out in front. Exhale, let's come up into this box position, and let's take a couple of cat cows. Inhaling to drop the belly down, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, pulling the chest through. Exhale, around the spine. Let's have one more of each. Inhaling for cow, exhaling for cat, and inhaling somewhere in the middle for our spinal balance. So bringing the belly button to the spine, using the ribs to hold the tummy and the spine in place. We're going to bring the left leg back. So really engage the muscle in your butt and really pointing that toe down towards the ground. And then bringing the right arm up to the shoulder. Maybe that's enough for you there. Maybe you want to stretch that arm out. And think here of an energy line going right from your fingertips down to your heel. So try not to sag now into that left arm. Stay nice and lifted. And a nice straight line through your spine. Keep breathing. Okay, so let's put that right hand down. Let's take some pulses of that leg. So squeezing the muscle in your glute. Pulse it up. Try and keep your body completely still. Just the glute is working. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so rest that left leg down. Keep the toe tucked. We're going to start to twist into a supported side plank. So as we start to twist, come up off the foot and just stamp that right foot so it's in front of your hips. Twist open, lifting the right arm up. So it's a nice stretch here. Supported. Hands come down. Step back to plank. So we're going to take some presses here. So you can bring your knees down. Let's do knees down first. So 3 box presses. Exhaling, bringing the chest down. Inhale up. Number 2. And number 3. All the way up. Sit back into child's pose. Just take a couple of breaths. Okay, next inhale, coming back up. Let's take 1 cat and 1 cow. So inhaling, the belly drops. Exhaling, the spine rounds. Inhale. Somewhere in the middle, belly nice and tight. So this time, the right foot is going to come back. Just lifting that right leg out, squeezing the muscle in your butt. Trying to maintain that nice straight line, keeping the belly button pulled in. So left hand can come up to the shoulder. If it feels comfortable, you can stretch the arm out in front of you. And again, thinking of that energy line, really engaging the quad in the front of that leg. Squeezing everything. Keep breathing. Okay, one more breath here. Bring the hands down and those pulses. Pulse, pulse. So really trying to keep the movement just in the leg. So your body's staying completely still, feeling that booty burn. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So rest that right leg down. Okay, so we're going to twist open with the left hand. So lifting the knee up, placing the foot on the ground. So as we twist open, the foot is in front of the hips. And just lifting the hips up. So this is a supported side plank. So we are going to put a side plank into class today. So if you don't, if you feel like your elbow wobbles when you're in a side plank, this is a really great modification for you. Okay, bring your hands down. Options for full presses or box presses. 3 of any, or you can rest in child's pose. Let's go. And there's 1, 2, and 3. Rest your knees down. Sit back into child's pose. Take a break. Take some water. Remove a layer if you're feeling a bit hot. Ooh. Okay. So next inhale, just checking in on where your hands are. Let's come up into downward facing dog. So hands are at shoulder distance. Feet are at hip distance. So just take a little moment just to find your stretch. Find your alignment. Take a breath in as you exhale, rolling forwards into plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, vinyasa. So maybe knees, chin and chest for the first one. Pushing your body forwards, coming up for a cobra. So keeping the shoulders back and down by bending the elbows. Tuck the toes, lift the hips back into the heels, downward facing. So if that's the option that works for you, just keep working at your own level. Otherwise, if you want a bit more, inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, roll forwards into plank. And lower all the way down, slow as you can, elbows raising the ribs. Untuck your toes, jobs back and down. Inhale, pushing into the ground, keeping the shoulders away from the ears for high cobra. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, come back. Downward facing dog. So that's your second vinyasa option. If that works for you, then that's the one for you. Otherwise, the last one, inhale, downward facing dog, exhale, forwards to plank, maybe lowering halfway down for chaturanga, and tuck the toes. Inhale, pushing up for upward facing dog, and exhale back. Downward facing dog, taking a nice big inhale here. Exhale and sink into the posture a little bit deeper. The tailbone is coming up towards the ceiling. Heels are melting down towards the ground. Okay, let's take some little steps in between the hands. So as we come, really bending the knees a lot. Holding on to the elbows or just resting the backs of the hands on the floor in front of you. Bring your weight forwards into your toes. Just dangle there. You can sway side to side. Try and release any tension in your head and your neck. Just enjoying Inversion. Okay, bringing the fingertips to the ground in front of you or to your shins as you inhale. Let's find a halfway lift. So engaging the quads at the front of the legs to protect your knees. Exhale, coming into more of a forward fold. So if your knees need to bend your knees as much as you need to for this to feel comfortable. And like we did in that downward facing dog, we just pedal the legs. Just inhale, find halfway lift. Pull your belly button in, pull your ribs in, bring the arms out to the side, so engaging your quads. Hold it, really squeeze your shoulder blades together. So try and get your hands higher than your head. So one more breath. Come all the way up, connecting your hands above your head. And exhale, hands down. To your heart center. So let's mix it up. Let's do a little bit of hip stretches whilst we're in on one leg. So left leg is going to support first. So just taking your weight into that left leg and lifting the right knee up. One over. Lifting the right knee up. So holding on to like the tip of your knee and pulling that knee in. Find something still to look at. Keep breathing. So focusing here. And in that focus. Exhale. Bring the right foot down. Take the weight over to the left. And lift. The right, sorry. Lift the left foot up. Try and keep your shoulders down. Check in with your jaw and the muscles in the face. So make sure everything is soft. Find something still to look at. Breath. And exhale. Bringing the leg down. Let's inhale to reach the hands up. Remembering not to push the chest out. Try to keep the ribcage squeezed in. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step back plank. And Vinyasa. So knees, chin, chest all the way down, or chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and back to downward facing dog. Step between your hands. You can walk, step, or hop. If you want to take a hop, come to your tippy toes, squat down and bring your knees wide and hop. Landing nice and lightly, come to a halfway lift as soon as you get to the front of the mat, and exhale to fold. Just have a little moment there. Stretch. Okay. Your next inhale will be your halfway lift. And your exhale is going to be a big step back with the left foot. So bring the left foot back, come down onto the knee. Imagine you're squeezing the thighs together. Inhale and reach the hands up. So there's a little back bend here. It's up to you how far you want to take the back bend. So just make sure it's comfortable. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the ground and straighten the front leg. So we're just going to rock between this movement. Inhale, coming back to height to the crescent moon, lifting the hands up. And exhale, rolling forwards, stretching. So if you can get your torso like it's attached to your thigh as you rock up and down. We're doing 5 of these. Nice long inhales and exhales, another 2. One more. Okay, so coming back into this half split. As we come forward, so before we come forward, tuck the back toe. We're going to come into low lunge. So as we roll forward, we're just lifting that back knee up. Left hand stands planted, and we're going to inhale, twisting to the right. Big twist. Still imagining you're squeezing your thighs towards one another. Exhale, the right hand comes down. We're going to come sideways on the mat for a wide leg forward fold. So facing the side, that's it. So you can take a few moments here, maybe stretching the inner thighs, swaying side to side. Maybe just rocking the tension out of your head. Just see what feels good. Our next inhale will be a halfway lift. Bringing the left hand underneath the face, we're going to take a twist. So the right hand comes up, shoulder, elbow, wrist, twist. Exhale, hand comes down. Swap, so left hand, shoulder, elbow, wrist, big inhale. Exhale, hand comes down, spiraling to the back of the mat. So come in backwards on your mat to low lunge, step back for plank, optional vinyasa or meeting downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale when you get to your down dog. Exhale, just releasing all the air from your mouth. Look in between your hands, walk, step or hop. Into a halfway lift and exhale, fold. We're going to do the same on the other leg. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with the right foot this time. So step right the way back. Knee comes down. Inhaling, the arms up. So squeezing the thighs as though you wanted them to touch. As you exhale, bringing the hands down and start to straighten the left leg. So obviously taking the leg as straight as is comfortable. Inhale, coming straight back forwards. Exhale back. So 3 more, inhale. Uniting the breath and the body with these movements. 2 more. One more, coming backwards and forwards. So as you come down, straighten the leg, tuck the back toe, coming forwards into low lunge with the back knee lifted. Right hand stays planted, inhale, twist. So still squeezing those thighs as though you wanted them to touch. Exhale, hands come right the way round. We're coming round to the side, back to that wide leg forward fold. Let's take a big halfway lift here. Engage from the quads, bring your weight into your toes and fold. So maybe pulling yourself a little bit deeper. The next inhale is a halfway lift. Exhale is a low lunge to the front of the mat. Step back for plank and vinyasa or meeting downward facing dog, depending on how you're feeling today and how much energy you've got. You can always skip a vinyasa. Nothing wrong with skipping the occasional vinyasa. Okay. So we're going to lift the right leg. So before we do, if you look between your feet, step your left foot into the gap. Inhale the right leg up, keeping your toes facing down towards the ground. So we're just going to hold this. This is a great hamstring strengthener because lifting against gravity is quite difficult. So every inhale, see if you can get the heel a little bit higher. And every exhale, maybe deepening that left heel down. So if your heel can touch the ground, why don't you play around with just lifting up your toes? Take one more breath, inhale. Exhale, roll forward, knee to nose, squeeze, lift, tap. Inhale, come back. Working for the core. Exhale, forwards, tap, lift. Inhale, stretch it back. One more time, exhale all the way forward. Step between your hands. If your foot doesn't quite make it, just pick it up and put it there. Pop that back knee down. Inhale, lift the hands up. Exhale, half splits. So coming back, stretch, tuck the back toe. Inhale, come forwards into low lunge. Plant the left hand. The next inhale, twisting towards the right leg. Left leg, sorry. Right hand comes up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hand back down. Inhale, straightening that front leg for extended pyramid pose and exhale to fold. Inhale, low lunge. So just lifting yourself up off of your legs. So try not to rest your torso on your thigh. Lift your fingertips up off the ground. Get nice and strong here. Still squeezing the thighs towards one another. Inhale up, crescent lunge. So just checking in with the hips. Hips are facing the front of the mat. Knee and ankle is in alignment. You can play around with the width at which your legs are. Really, really nice and tight through the hips and through the muscles in the legs. If you want to challenge your balance, you can look up. Have one more breath here. Your exhale is going to be a warrior two. So coming all the way around into warrior two. And again, just checking in with the alignment. So back foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Your knee, you can just see, you're pushing that out towards your pinky toe. So you can see your big toe. Shoulders and hips are stacked. We're not like slightly forwards. Tailbones tucked and reaching nice and strong. Again, that notion of the rib cage, moving the rib cage in. Okay, inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, imagine someone's pulling on your hands, reaching forwards. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And exhale, low lunge. Step back to, oh no, we're going to take another twist here. So inhale, right hand twists towards the leg. We've got that side plank, so rolling onto the outside edge of the left foot. Right foot can come in front of the hips, or you can step it all the way back just for one breath. Inhale and exhale, chaturanga or downward facing dog, whichever way works for you. And we'll take a few breaths here before we move on. So if you need to take a child's pose, feel free to take child's pose. This is our rest. So we're going to take about 5 or 6 breaths here. Just refocusing, recentering. Getting ready for that flow on the other side. So, as ever, child's pose is your friend. If a downward facing dog is not feeling restful, then please feel free to take child's pose. You've got another 2 breaths to decide if you want to take a child's pose or not. Otherwise, let's get our bodies ready to move. So looking between the feet, stepping the right foot in the gap between the left and right, and inhaling the left leg high. So toes are facing down towards the ground. You don't want your hip opening like this. You want to keep your hips stacked. Toes are facing down towards the ground, and we're using our hamstring strength to keep lifting. So every inhale, thinking of lifting that leg higher, and exhaling the right heel down. And again, if your heel touches the ground already, try lifting your toes up. A little challenge there. So we can go a little bit higher. Okay, let's exhale and roll forward, knee to nose. Tap, squeeze, lift. Inhale back. 2 more times. Exhale forwards. Inhale back. Exhale forwards, lift, squeeze, and step between your hands, dropping that right knee down. Squeezing the thighs together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, half splits. Tuck the back toe. Let's shoot forwards into a low lunge. Planting the right hand. Inhaling the left arm up. Twist. Still as imagining you're squeezing your thighs together. Exhale, bring the hand back down to outside of the foot. And let's lengthen the leg on an inhale. And exhale, fold. So extended pyramid, the back heel is going to be a bit lifted. It's a longer version of pyramid pose. Let's inhale, come back forwards into that low lunge. Just lifting the torso up off the thighs on the floor and inhale up into crescent lunge. So again, taking a few moments just to find your alignment here. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to figure out where your hips want to go. So spiraling your pinky fingers in to relax the shoulders and get nice and strong through the fingertips. Let's take one more breath here and exhaling for warrior 2. Again, just sussing out the alignment here. So wiggle yourself around, making sure that your hips are like facing the side of the mat. Front leg, you can see the big toe, nice and strong through the arms. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands round and staying in low lunge. Inhale, the left arm lifts. So this is the side plank. So you can either move up foot so it's in front of your hips, or you can stack your feet, or you can stagger. Just one breath. Exhale, rolling around, see if you can come straight into your chaturanga. Up dog for the inhale and exhale. The downward facing dog. Let's come down into a child's pose actually. Just take a nice little rest for your hands. So bringing your arms alongside your body, palms facing up. Just allowing your shoulders to melt forwards. Reconnect with the breath. Reconnect with the ground. So really feeling your hands and forehead and your legs on the ground, just really sinking, feeling your connection with the ground and the energy of the ground. So we're going to do the same flow with some balance and a couple of Little tweaks, but we know where we're going now, don't we? So, okay, next inhale, let's come up into downward facing dog. Straight away, we're going to lift that right leg. So stepping the left foot to center, inhale the right leg high. Just one time, exhale, knee to nose, and step between your hands. So dropping the back knee down and tuck the toe. Inhale up, crescent moon. Exhale back, half splits. Listen for the change then. As we come forward, tucking the back toe, we're going to pop up off that back foot and come into standing splits. So this is another challenging one. You can hold standing splits or you can take jiva squats. So exhale, so you can tap your calf with your knee and inhale, come back up. 2 more times. Exhale, tap. Inhale up. Really working against gravity here. Exhale, tap. Inhale up and exhale. Low lunge. They used to be my worst things in the whole world, and now I actually really like them. Okay, so hand right, left hand stays planted. Right hand opens and twists. Exhale, bring the hand down to the floor. Inhale, extended pyramid, straighten the leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, low lunge. We're going to put those two together now. So bring the left hand down. Inhale, open out to the side. See if you can get your belly to touch your thigh and start to straighten the legs. So we're in like an extended, revolved triangle. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, bending into the front leg, coming into a vertical twisted warrior. So it feels a bit weird. Take a big breath in. Try not to think about this transition too much. We're bringing the right arm down and the left arm up. Spirit fingers are optional here. You can jiggle your fingers and we're in warrior two. It's a lovely transition, that one. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, half moon. So bringing yourself, popping off the back foot, bringing the right foot down and turning. It's kind of like a warrior two, just on one leg. So your hip is turned out to the side. It's a challenging one. You can't hold it, don't worry. Just do your best. And let's come into, so we're going to roll the hip down, both hands to the floor in front of the leg, coming into stalk. And then bending the knee, come back, tuck the toe, inhale up. Crescent lunge. Just take another breath here. We're going to step forward into chair. So get yourself ready. As we come forward, bring your hands down to your heart. Bring your weight forwards into the right foot and sit into chair pose. Just taking a couple of breaths here. So option here to take ball of yarn. So ball of yarn, we're coming up onto the tiptoes and sitting down into the heels. So challenging the balance again. Maybe wrap your arms around your knees. And releasing from that into a forward fold. So bringing the heels down, give your legs a little wiggle. You can maybe bring your feet to like the distance of the mat and just dangle there. Straight legs, or maybe keeping the legs at hip distance with the knees bent. Whatever option of forward fold works for you. This is our lovely break. Okay, so let's find a halfway lift on the inhale. Step back. We're going to take a vinyasa just to find our way to downward facing dog. So if you just want to take downward facing dog, feel free. Otherwise, vinyasa. And back. We're just going to do that same flow on the other side. Ooh, okay, so getting ready to lift the left leg, stepping the right foot between the feet and lifting the left leg nice and high. Just one breath here. Inhale, exhale, roll forward. Keep your knee as close to body as you can and step it between your hands. Drop the back knee down. Inhale up, crescent moon. Exhale, half splits. Tuck the back toe. Inhale, come forwards and pop up into standing splits. So just letting gravity pull the top half of your body down as your leg strength pulls that leg up. Take a big breath in. Optional jiva squats. Exhale. Knee comes to calf and inhale up. Exhale, tap. Inhale up. One more. Exhale, tap. Inhale up. And step back nice and slowly into low lunge. So the right hand stays planted. Inhale, twist into the left. Left hand reaches up, squeezing the thighs towards one another. Exhale, bring the hand back down. Inhale, lengthening through the left leg. And exhale to fold. Inhale, come back forwards into low lunge. Just put those together. The right hand stays planted. Inhale, twisting to the left. So imagine squeezing your thighs towards one another. Maybe straightening that leg. It's still so tightly twisted towards the leg. So let's try this weird transition. Inhale, bend into the left knee. See if you can lift yourselves up into this weird vertical twist. Take a breath in. Okay, so left arm down, right arm up. Spirit fingers optional. Going all the way around into warrior two. I do love that transition. Okay, inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, half moon. So bringing your weight onto the left leg, popping up off the right. Hips open to the side. So if you can just peek down and see, you're flexing your feet, should be able to see your toes. So you know you're in good alignment. So bring both hands down to the ground. Bend your knee if you need to. And just lifting that back leg up. Stalk. And step back. Into our low lunge. Just let's check in with what we were doing then. Inhale, come up into crescent lunge. Okay, so we're going to take a big step forward into chair. So bringing the right foot in to meet the left, bring hands into the heart center, sit back, tucking the tailbone, keeping the core engaged, and move back a little bit, so put some space. So as inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swooping them back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swoop. Okay, options here. Inhale up. The option to come up onto your tiptoes, drinking bird, and balance. Inhale up. Exhale back and hold. So really up on the tippiest of your tippy toes, trying to really extend through the whole of the bottom of the foot. If you're shaking, it means you're really working. Option here to come down on the tiptoes and see if you can find ball of yarn. Ooh, with the knees a little cuddle. And plonking it back down on the ground. Keep your knees tucked in. Roll onto your backs. Ah, lovely. Okay, let's do some belly up core from here. Belly up core and a little back bend, I think. So let's bring both your legs up to the ceiling, pulling your toes back down towards you, as though you had like a brick or a tray or something on your feet. You want to be able to balance it there. So hands alongside your body, palms facing down. So we're going to do some leg lowers. We're just going to work on one leg at a time. So you can keep one leg up towards the ceiling, or if you want a challenge, you can kind of lower the leg down. So maybe hold into here, and then the other leg is going to lower and come back up. But this leg, the quad, is really fired. So stay nice and engaged. Keep pressing your lower back into the ground, and just remember, if your back starts to arch, you can bring that leg a bit higher. Let's do 10 on each leg. So whichever option, obviously the lower that other leg goes, the more difficult it is. So it depends on where you are today. Keep counting, because I've lost count already. I'm going to say that's about 5. And keep really pressing your lower back into the ground, exhaling as you lower, and inhaling to come back up. 3. I'm just going to say this is my last 3 because I completely haven't covered. 2. And 1. Lift it all up, bring your knees into your chest. Draw some circles. in one direction, and let's take some circles in the other direction. Okay, so we're just going to do the other side, and then we'll take a nice relaxing twist. So again, bring both legs up towards the ceiling. So this is an option. You can just do normal leg lowers if that's something that you want to do. If you want a bit more of a challenge, then this right leg can come down to hover and just hold it in the same position. So really, really engaging all the muscles in this leg. We're going to do 10 lowers. I'm going to try and actually pay attention to the amount I'm doing this time. And again, really, really focusing on the lower back. Really, really grounding to the floor. That's 3. Maybe lost count. Remember, with this other leg, the right leg can come up higher. It feels like you're losing your technique. Lift the leg up higher. Let's stay another 4, 3, 2, and 1. We could bring both legs in. Draw some circles, rock side to side. Let's bring your arms out into a capital T then. Legs come to tabletop. Take a big breath in. We're going to twist. So knees can stack or stagger. If you feel like you have pain in your back or anything, maybe you want to stagger your knees, so just allow them to move away from each other. Otherwise, keeping them stacked. You can bring your right hand onto the left knee, just to gently pull it across the body as you press that left shoulder down. Maybe looking along the extended arm. And then back into your breath if you've lost the connection. Okay, so if you've got your right hand on your left knee, just releasing the grip, inhaling, legs up to center, and exhaling to the other side. Dropping the knees down. The left hand can come up onto the right knee, just easily across your body, and the right shoulder is pressing down into the ground. So releasing the hand, if you've got your hand on your knee, inhaling the knees up to center, dropping your feet down. So they are at hip distance, nice and close to your butts. So we're just going to do a little bit of a back bend to finish. There's a couple of different options depending on kind of what you're feeling today. So we're just going to do some bridges first. So pressing the low back into the ground and peeling the tailbone up. Inhaling, just following that movement, vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting to the shoulders. So really squeezing the muscles in the butt, using your exhale to come back down. So stay nice and long in the back of the neck and really paying attention to the low back. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. So really focusing on the whole of your spine, elongating in each of your vertebrae and making contact with your mat, thinking of lengthening your spine every time you lift and lower. Maybe this feels really nice and you just want to keep uniting the body and the breath and the movement, making the inhale and the exhale last the length of the movement. Maybe you want a challenge, maybe you want to hold the bridge at the top. So really engaging the muscles in your glutes. Again, do what feels right for you. So lifting and lowering might feel great. Just keep doing that. Maybe you want to take a chest expansion. So interlacing the hands underneath you, walking one shoulder under and then the other, and reaching down towards your feet. So you get a great chest expansion. Breathe in. Try and imagine squeezing the thighs towards one another so your knees don't end up splaying out. So really stay nice and engaged through the legs. Maybe you want to try wheel. Obviously, you're welcome to rest in between these movements if you want to. So if you want to try upward facing bow pose, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. So if that's a challenge enough, probably means that your shoulders aren't open enough yet. So just be careful. You want to squeeze your elbows in towards one another, push into the ground as you stay engaged through your glutes and through your hamstrings. Just lift up onto the top of your head first. So not dumping all the weight into the head, your hands are supporting. If it feels okay, maybe you want to lift up onto your hands. You can lift up onto your tippy toes. Try and hold whichever version, or maybe 2 or 3 breaths. Usually, if the breath is tight, so if you need to lower, come back down the way you came up, so bringing your shoulders down. And before you bring your knees into your chest, bring your feet to mat distance and just release your low back by rolling your knees into center. So one of the main indicators that we've gone too deep or too far is our breath. So if when you're in upward facing bow pose, you feel like you can't breathe, it's an indicator that maybe your body isn't quite there yet, maybe it's not quite ready. That doesn't mean it won't ever be ready. So yeah, slowly, shanty with back bends. So just bring the knees into the chest then, and you can just squeeze your knees in, maybe lift your head and shoulders up just to take a stretch in the opposite direction to that big back bend. And we've got some time to finish with a shoulder stand, or legs at the wall, or headstand, or any other inversion that feels nice for you. If you want to take shoulder stand, I'll walk you through shoulder stand. So knees and feet are parallel to one another, and as though you were on a swing, just going to use the momentum of our legs just to lift the tailbone up. Pressing your elbows into the ground, you'll get a bit more lift. So when you feel comfortable, just grabbing hold of your low back and just supporting with your elbows, squeezing your elbows in so they're not splaying out to the side. And you can play around with maybe bringing the legs all the way up, maybe bringing one leg to your forehead and then the other. Plow pose is always an option, where you bring your feet behind your back. Just try and keep your weight in your shoulders and not your neck. It's a shoulder stand. So really trying to keep the weight through the shoulders and not overloading your neck. You can play around. It's a really nice one to play around with, actually, shoulder stand. A nice thing to try is maybe a candle. So a candle where you're not holding on. Just try to find that point of balance. It's quite a nice one. Whenever you're ready to come out, supporting your body all the way down. And maybe bringing your feet together and letting your knees open to the sides. Bringing your arms right out away from your body with your palms facing up. Just taking a few breaths in this lovely relaxing posture. So maybe this feels really great for your Shavasana. Maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you want to bring your feet wide and roll your knees in, which is the opposite, the counter pose. So that feels really great. This is my favorite at the moment, I think, because I feel like my low back can really relax here. Shavasana. Otherwise, you've got the option to bring your legs out for your classic corpse pose with feet at the outside edges of the mat. And your toes rolling out, just releasing the tension of the body. Bringing your arms somewhere that means your shoulders can open. So picking the head up, maybe lengthening through the back of the neck. Bringing your awareness to all the points of the body. On the ground. During this Shavasana as well. Just letting your heels feel really nice and heavy. Let's scrunch up the toes. Spread the toes wide. Scrunch the toes. Spread them wide and release all the tension in the feet. Just letting the feet drop open. So bringing the awareness to the hips, the weight of the body and the hips. So let's tighten up the muscles in the glutes and the legs. So squeezing the muscles in your bum, tighten the pelvic floor, the fronts, the thighs, the backs of the thighs, the calves, the shins and knees. Squeeze everything as tight as you can. And exhale, release. No tension in the lower body now at all. So moving into the tummy and the ribs and the spines. Really squeeze your belly button to your spine. Push your lower back down. Squeeze your rib cage in. Exhale, squeeze. Exhale, squeeze. Really engage. Over-exaggerate this engagement. Really, really squeeze and release. So just feeling torso, feeling weightless. So moving into the arms, we're going to scrunch the fingers up into fists. Spread the fingers wide. Scrunch the hands. Spread the fingers wide. One more time. Scrunch. Spread. Really reach away from your body. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. And release the hands to the ground. And just relax. So bringing your awareness to the back of the head. Point that's touching the ground. Just feels so heavy here. Just going to tighten up the muscles around the eyes, so the forehead, the eyebrows, the sides of the eyes, really scrunching the mouth, really bringing all the tension into the jaw, really squeeze and release. Just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold the breath at the top. Exhale through your mouth. Just releasing your breath control, just letting yourself feel really, really heavy. Scanning through the body, looking for any areas that may be feeling tight. Bringing the awareness to the space behind the eyes, the empty space. Starting to bring your awareness back into your breath. Maybe just gently deepening your inhales, exhales, as you bring your awareness back into your body. Just starting to play with some movements, like moving fingers and toes. Maybe drawing circles with the wrists and your feet side to side. Whenever you're ready, let's just take a nice big full body stretch. So inhale, stretch fingers away from your toes, big stretch. And exhale, hugging your knees into your chest. Just take a little moment just to give thanks to yourselves, to your yoga practice, to your breath, to your beautiful bodies that have carried you through your life, your whole life. Everything that's happened in your body has carried you, never ever failed you. Give yourself some love. Whenever you're ready, let's make our way to a seat. Cool. So let's just take closing breath. So bringing your hands to your heart center. Let's inhale. Reach your hands out. Really stretch your fingers. Reach as high as you can. Exhale through your mouth. Circling the arms around. Reaching to the sides of the room. Coming back to your heart center. Let's have another 2 like this. Inhale. Reach up. Exhale. Stretch for the sides of the room. And one more time, inhale, stretch. Exhale, reach. And that was lovely. Thank you so much for joining me today for that lovely class. Hope that was okay. It's everything you dreamed of and more. I'm just going to finish the recording before everybody leaves. So thanks everybody catching up on the recording. Thanks. Loves to you guys too.